Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jesse Thomas. It's 11:30 and this is your late CTV News. Tonight, an evacuation in downtown Halifax. What forced the people out of downtown and what the police are saying about the threat. Then, a dangerous ride in Moncton as two teens were seen half in and on top of a moving car. And the largest east of Ontario new Amazon distribution center coming to Dartmouth.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Jesse Thomas.
Good evening. Bruce Frisco is off tonight. Traffic heading in and out of the downtown core slowed to a crawl in Halifax this morning and remained that way for much of the day as Halifax Regional Police dealt with a bomb threat, as CTV's Brianne Foley explains. Though no one was hurt from the incident, tens of thousands of people had their Monday heavily impacted.
As of 8:47 a.m. Monday morning, Halifax Regional Police arrested a man on Thomas Riddell Drive near the Canada Game Centre and evacuated the parkade at Purdy's Wharf in downtown Halifax due to a bomb threat.
Actually started last night on August 9th at shortly after 6 p.m. Police became aware of a bomb threat that was received by the U.S. consulate in Purdy's Wharf, located here on Upper Water Street in Halifax. Police were able to identify the male who made the bomb threat to the consulate, and from there started immediately to locate that male. It wasn't until 8:10 this morning when police located that male's vehicle in the parkade at Purdy's Wharf. Inside the vehicle, there was propane tanks. There were containers containing other flammable liquids. At that time, police called out the Halifax Regional Police Explosive Disposal Unit, who attended.
The evacuation was expanded at 10:15 a.m. to include Barrington at Amalamak Way, Duke Street down to Upper Water Street, Brunswick Street at Dr. Aldred Waddle to Cogswell, evacuating hotels, businesses, and instructing pedestrians to leave the area.
Because I need to go to the U.S. consulate for the visa interview. Yeah, it took months to get a available time slot. It's not easy. You can tell. I live in Vancouver. I fly 6 hours there.
The evacuation lasted until 2 p.m. Monday when police began removing caution tape blocking the surrounding streets.
Around 2 o'clock, it was determined by the EDU that there was no longer a risk or a threat to the public, and we started to open the downtown core.
Now, because the investigation was ongoing during the noon hour, Citadel. The 54-year-old remains in custody and under investigation, and police say he could appear in court as soon as Tuesday. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
And the man who was the subject of an emergency alert in Halifax over the weekend is facing over a dozen charges, including attempted murder, after a woman was shot in the Annapolis region. A police chase and search ended in a wooded hiking trail in the Bedford area. CTV's Vanessa Wright has the latest.
Oh my God, they got him. Oh my God. Yo, turn the camera. On camera. They got him.
The moment police caught 36-year-old Ryan Alexander Cole, ending an hours-long manhunt. CTV captured the arrest while speaking with a witness.
So the cops didn't see him come up here. We were the only ones who saw him come up here. So the cops drove by Sunnyside Mall, and we ran onto the road and flagged them down. And so we flagged them down.
Oh my God, they got him. Oh my God. Yo, turn the camera. On camera.
They got him.
Cole was arrested at around 12:40 p.m. Saturday afternoon, but the events leading up to it began just after 7 a.m. that morning. Police allege he was involved in the shooting of a woman outside a home in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley.
On arrival, officers found a 31-year-old victim who had suffered a gunshot wound. She was transported to hospital by EHS with life-threatening injuries.
From there, police say Cole fled the area in a Mazda. The chase continued in Bedford behind Sunnyside Mall, where the suspect crashed his car before taking off on foot.
He is facing a number of charges. First most is the attempted murder charge, as well as a number of firearms offenses, which would be discharging a firearm, careless use of a firearm, possession of a firearm contrary to order, possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose, and a few others.
RCMP say they are still working on finding the firearm used by the alleged suspect. Cole was expected to appear in Digby Provincial Court today. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Bedford.
And police in Moncton are investigating a dangerous driving incident that took place in the city yesterday. It left witnesses shaken in fear for the safety of the youth involved in the reckless stunt. That was all captured on video. CTV's Derek Haggett with the details.
It's hard to believe the video is real, but it is. Teenagers on top and hanging out of a moving car on busy Von Harvey Boulevard in Moncton yesterday afternoon. A woman in the passenger seat behind them captured it all and posted it on social media.
When I saw them kind of climb onto the vehicle and then, stand up with no hands, I was, again, just shocked. Like, am I actually capturing this? Are these kids that stupid?
When she later called 911, the dispatcher said they had already received thousands of calls and police were trying to locate the vehicle.
We could not get over the brazenness. I was so scared that one of the kids were going to fall. I was going to see something that I didn't want to see, and somebody would potentially run over them.
This woman says she saw what appears to be the same black Chevy sedan with the same passengers driving on the sidewalk in the north end of the city shortly after the video was taken.
Like, there was a lot of reckless endangerment here, and they continued on. They came back into this parking lot. They did donuts, and when they sped out, they nearly hit 2 cars along the way.
Early this afternoon, a spokesperson for the New Brunswick RCMP tells CTV News they are aware of the video circulating online and they are gathering information on the incident. The video has been viewed close to 300,000 times.
I wanted the parents to see that this is what your kids are doing, but I also was hoping that the RCMP would see it too, because this was just so brazen and so stupid that I just couldn't get over that this is what we were watching, and they were just so erratic with their driving. As
of late this afternoon, there was no further update from the police. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
After the story was filed, RCMP did in fact provide an update. Police say the vehicle, which was reported stolen, was located in a ditch in Memramcook yesterday. Last night, police located and arrested 2 of the teens involved, and a third later turned themselves in. The 3 youths, a 16-year-old boy, a 14-year-old boy, and a 16-year-old girl, have all been released from custody and are scheduled to make a court appearance at a later date. And fewer than half of the Eastern premiers from Canada attended a scheduled conference in the U.S. with American governors. The 2-day event comes just weeks before a 50% U.S. tariff is set to go into effect on a list of goods. CTV's Anna Mandan reports on what this may mean for cross-border collaboration.
A meeting between Eastern premiers and New England governors in Vermont on Sunday and Monday garnered a small turnout. Only Nova Scotia and PEI's premiers were part of the Canadian contingent, while New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Quebec's premiers sent representatives in their place. In an emailed statement on Friday, New Brunswick's Director of Communications said Premier Susan Holt was staying in the province to focus on priorities at home. While a press secretary for Newfoundland and Labrador, Premier Tony Wakeham, says the conference continues to be an important collaboration. But University of Prince Edward Island political scientist Don Deserud says this could mark a turning point in inter-border partnerships.
The instability of the system is such that they can make all the agreements they want, and then tomorrow we'll find out that they're all null and void because of another change in policy.
Provinces, he says, may be backing off on negotiations to allow the federal government to take a lead. The threatened 50% tariffs on Canadian goods are set to go into effect next week. But Deserud says the cross-border impact could be long-lasting.
Over time, you want to maintain these relationships because eventually these are going to have to, these will come back and they will be very, very valuable.
Meanwhile, not all leaders skipped the conference. Nova Scotia's Premier Tim Houston was in attendance, and in an emailed statement, he says now is a critical time to strengthen existing ties and that removing tariffs is a priority. Anna Mandan, CTV News, Fredericton.
Cape Breton Regional Municipality is receiving $2.6 million from the provincial and federal governments to improve transit accessibility. The funding will help the municipality buy 6 accessible minibuses for Cape Breton Transit. It'll also support the construction of 5 new bus shelters, 5 crosswalks, and nearly 2 kilometers of sidewalks. Officials say the upgrades will make transportation safer, more accessible, and better connected to existing transit routes there.
You can try those.
And a massive Amazon distribution center is under construction in Dartmouth. It could lead to even faster delivery times for parcels The facility could employ up to 1,500 people, but one retail analyst says the news isn't all positive. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis has more.
In the not-too-distant future, these Amazon trucks will be leaving from a newer and much bigger facility.
It is about the size of 3 of the current IKEAs, so it's a massive, massive footprint.
Amazon is moving its distribution center from one end of the Burnside Industrial Park to the other. Right now, the site is being cleared by dozens of pieces of heavy equipment. The building will be more than 1 million square feet, and consumers could see even shorter delivery times.
We could be talking about same-day delivery here in the city. That's the hopes and aspirations of Amazon, to improve that distribution network and that delivery time to their end consumer.
The CEO of the Downtown Dartmouth Business Commission says the city is on a roll when it comes to attracting major investments like this one.
It's like a snowball. Once that snowball starts rolling, it kind of just keeps rolling. And so we're attracting these large sorts of employers like Amazon, and we're also attracting a lot of investment through the Defense Initiative.
The news isn't all positive.
The reputation of Amazon as an employer, not the best.
Retail expert Doug Stevens says the distribution super company has its flaws, even if it is bringing between 1,000 to 1,500 jobs to the area.
This facility, first of all, is opening against the backdrop of a closing of a facility in Quebec not that long ago. And the catalyst for that closing was that the employees were unionized in Quebec, and Amazon wants nothing to do with unions.
Stevens says there's a fine line between the quantity of jobs and the quality of those jobs. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
All right, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast. We're expecting a break in the humidity. But next, sand, sun, and some serious creativity.
I think they're working on it for a long time, and the detail comes out when you do that.
We're heading to New River Beach next for a sandcastle showdown. That story's coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
10 questions, 60 seconds. If you know all the answers, you're winning $1,000.
We play $1,000 Minute every weekday at 7 a.m.
New Brunswick's New River Beach is a popular place any summer weekend along the Bay of Fundy, but once a year the sands transform into one giant sandbox where kids of all ages are eager to grab a shovel. CTV's Avery McRae shows us why.
With large shovels and fine tools on hand, these are not your everyday sandcastles.
I'm building a Kermit the Frog sand sculpture.
Wolfgang Downey McLean is fairly new to the craft, but has some basic tips to follow.
I think they're working on it for a long time, and the detail comes out when you do that.
Downey McLean was just one of hundreds of people carefully molding the sands at New River Beach for the annual Bay of Fundy Sand Sculpture Festival. The competition itself was separated in 2 major categories, amateurs and masters. On the Masters Beach, sand spectacles are first packed tightly with the help of boxes before the sculpting work begins. For sculptor Guy-Olivier Deveau and his partner Isabel, they are working to create a rowboat.
We got big plans, we got a lot of work to do, we have to be on pace, and we're fairly confident that we're going to be able to make it happen.
Event co-organizer and professional sculptor Karen Freilich has traveled across the world for sand sculpting shows, but few rival a scene along the Bay of Fundy.
They're going to come down onto one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, and there's so much room, there's so much camaraderie, there's great music, and just so many things to see.
For sibling spectators Rankin and Bria Ketch, it's tough to pick a favorite.
The one like right over there is pretty nice.
I like the one up on the hill when you first pull in. It has it's like one that has like a horse and has like a shark wrapped around it.
All until the world's highest tides wash away this sandy canvas. Avery McRae, CTV News, New River Beach, New Brunswick.
All right, time for a quick break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. Kaylin's back with all the details you need to know. Stay with us for that and more news ahead. And welcome back. Meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell joins us in the Weather Center now for your maritime weather forecast. Hey, Kaylin.
Hey there, Jesse. So it was still a hot and muggy day across the Maritimes, just not quite as hot as it was at times this past weekend or last week. And because of that, we've seen most of the heat warnings end in the region. And we've got some further change coming up on Tuesday as a low pressure system arrives. This is going to be bringing in some areas, some rain and showers into the Maritimes and a risk of thunderstorms. And in behind that weather system on Tuesday, a further fall in the humidity around the region for the middle of this week. So a much more comfortable level when it comes to humidity and humidex values ahead for the Maritimes Wednesday and Thursday. Taking a look at our timeline then for cloud cover and precipitation for the rest of tonight, there's a few clouds around. There'll be some fog patches, but early Tuesday morning, an area of rain moves into the northern half of New Brunswick. So expect a wet start to the day for all these northern communities. Perth, Andover, Edmundston, Campbellton, Dalhousie, Miramichi. There'll even be a chance of some morning showers in and around Fredericton. And within this area of rain and showers, there will be a risk of thunderstorms. Now moving towards the noon hour, that exits off towards the east, but in behind it for the remainder of the afternoon for the Maritimes and into the early evening, some isolated showers and thunderstorms are expected to pop up. At that point in time, though, any given community in the region only has about a 30 to 40% chance of seeing a shower or thunderstorm. So the risk for thunderstorms is there for tomorrow and across New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, northern interior areas of mainland Nova Scotia. And any thunderstorms that do develop, the most likely hazards will be downpours as well as lightning, which is dangerous at any time. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast coming up for Tuesday, they'll be mostly out of a westerly direction and sustain 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with a few gusts between 20 and 40. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for the Maritimes. It's still a pretty warm night. Most of the lows won't be much cooler than around 14 to 18 degrees. Then highs for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick with that rain moving through in the morning. Temperatures do cool and most of the highs will be between 22 and 24. Down through central and southern areas of New Brunswick where they're still expecting a bit more sun compared to areas in the north. The high temperatures between 24 and 27. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow with high temperatures around 23 to 25 degrees, but a few showers with risk of thunderstorms expected. The coverage of those, though, will be scattered for the province. Cape Breton for tomorrow, chance of a shower, risk of a thunderstorm. High temperatures 23 to 26 degrees. For the north shore of Nova Scotia, the highs mostly around 27. And on the eastern shore, high temperatures mostly between 22 and 25. Afternoon into evening, that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Same thing goes for northern and central parts of the province. And high temperatures between 24 and 27, including 27 at Truro, 26 at Enfield, and 25 city centers, Halifax and Dartmouth. 27 in the Annapolis Valley for tomorrow, except 24 at Digby. And on the south shore of Nova Scotia, most of the highs between 25 and 27. Though coastal areas in the southwest, like Yarmouth, for example, closer to 23. Taking a look at the extended forecast for New Brunswick, so a less muggy feel to the air coming up both Wednesday and Thursday, both days a mix of sun and cloud. Periods of rain in the forecast for Friday, followed by a pretty comfortable weekend with a mix of sun and cloud Saturday, Sunday, and likely to start the following week. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, humidity comes down for Wednesday and Thursday for the province, but picks up again with rain in the forecast for Friday. After that, pretty warm temperatures for the next weekend and the start of next week. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, a return to less humid conditions coming up for both Wednesday and Thursday. Rain in the forecast for Friday right now, then a mix of sun and cloud, pretty seasonable temperatures for the upcoming weekend and the following Monday. Jesse.
All right, thanks for that, Kaylin. We'll take another TV timeout, but stick around. More news on the other side.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. Some of the best women's softball teams from Ontario right to Newfoundland were in Dartmouth over the weekend. CTV's Valentine Nkingiva takes us to the Eastern Canadian Softball Championships.
We have been in Dartmouth hosting the Eastern Canadian Championships for intermediate women as a she-devil organization that's been around since 1998. And I have developed my own personal greatest friendships through softball, and I get to watch other teams feel the same way cheering each other on. We have an entire community that has come out to watch this and support it. We have a U15 team that has taken care of the entire barbecue.
Now batting number 13, Haley.
Eastern Canadian Championship is a tournament of club teams from Ontario to Newfoundland.
We're Team Akita from Newfoundland. I just joined this year, and they're so welcoming. Love them. We are the women's team for Oromocto Silverbacks. We're kind of a provincial team, meaning like we have players from kind of all over just because we don't have a lot of women's teams in New Brunswick.
This weekend has been nothing short of pretty smooth considering everything that could have gone wrong. And the teams have all been wonderful and supportive of each other, and it's been wonderful to see.
I thought it was incredible. Nova Scotia is amazing, and I think every team deserves something. It was a great tournament. I worked out really hard before this tournament, and it just really means everything to me to win the MVP of the tournament.
All right, time now for one last break, but we'll take a look outside at the Armdale Roundabout here in Halifax. It's 11:58, still 22 degrees. Kaelin's going to tell us a little bit about your wake-up weather on the other side.
Tuesday on Your Morning Atlantic, do you believe in magic?
Ooh, magician Bill Peterson joins us ahead of his performance at the 2026 Fundy Fringe Festival.
Start your morning with us Tuesday on Your Morning Atlantic on CTV2 and Crave.
All right, time now for a quick look at tomorrow's wake-up weather. Kaelin's back again. Hey, Kaelin.
Hey there, Jesse. So the soggiest conditions first thing tomorrow morning expected in northern areas of New Brunswick, where it is an area of rain and showers moving through. There will be a risk of some thunderstorms. The afternoon for the Maritimes, a mix of sun and cloud with some isolated showers and a risk of thunderstorms. Any showers or thunderstorms that are around will be coming to an end later Tuesday evening. Jesse.
All right, thanks for that, Kaelin. Now, it was movie night on the Halifax waterfront.
Guess that means something big's happening here, eh?
No, Marv. Big things happen in big places. And the sooner I fill out my report, the sooner I can get back to them.
All right, that's a movie playing on the Halifax waterfront, as you can tell there, mixed in with all the restaurants, the pubs, public art, and the unique architecture of the Queensmark district. Was that movie Giant? And there's a giant screen and a giant sound system that really transformed the harborfront into that outdoor movie theater that we see there. Now, it saw throngs of people turn out for the sci-fi classic. Sorry, that was the Iron Giant playing.
And so far for the series, we haven't gotten to do a ton of promotion, so pretty modest for our first week. Last week we had about 100 people with pretty bad weather, honestly, but it still went really well. We had a great audience, intimate, and nothing went wrong despite lots of wind and the threat of drizzle.
And it's all free, so grab some popcorn or whatever movie treat you can get your hands on, because these Monday night movie nights on the Halifax waterfront will continue through August and September. All right, that's a look at your late news headlines tonight. Just a reminder, if you've tuned in late, if you'd like a second look at any of our stories, you can always find them on ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's your home for news. I'm Jesse Thomas. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.